A little over a week ago, I made a trip from Columbus to Calgary, Canada, where I went to a spiritual retreat sponsored by the Vantage Point 3 folks, the people who have created our emerging, equipping, and enriching disciples resources. I left home early Thursday morning, around 6. It was pitch black. By the time I got through security at Columbus Airport, the day was starting to break, and I looked out the window and saw that it was another of those gunmetal gray cloudy days, the kind of which we have too many here in central Ohio. I got on the plane, and 6 hours later, I got off the plane in Calgary, Canada, went and picked up my rental car and began the drive toward Banff. Cloudless, pure blue sky. And as I was winding my way up, I could see the Canadian Rockies off in the distance. And suddenly, I just had to pull off the highway. I took some pictures, got back in the car, drove up to Banff, checked into the hotel, and because it was still daylight, I decided to drive up to Lake Louise. As I looked at this pristine, clear lake with its frigid water, all from a melting glacier, surrounded by these majestic Rocky Mountains, and this bright blue sun, I couldn't help but think, I'm becoming intoxicated with creation. And there in that moment, I realized I was having my own little resurrection experience. I think of that because that's what Paul seems to be speaking about in our scripture passage for this week. Listen to the spiritual assessment that Paul gives of us apart from Christ. You were dead through the trespasses and sins in which you once lived. You were following the course of this world, the ruler of the power of the air. You were living according to the passions of your flesh. You were children of wrath. What a sobering, almost outlandish assessment of our spiritual condition. And yet it's true. But the amazing news that Paul proclaims is that because God was so passionately in love by us, by God's grace in Jesus Christ, He's raised us from death to life.